Hello, Orange Cat here. We're gonna continue with Sherlock Holmes chapter 1. It's gonna be part 4. We're gonna continue where we left off. The last time I streamed, we finished the main case, A Muse from Abroad. We did some more progress in a mother's love case. We did the 3 in-game Minecraft cases. And now we're gonna continue where we left off. Yes, so we have a lot of still side quests to do. Yeah, let's get to it. Okay, I have to check in the game where we left. Yeah, so most of the cases, let's say the in-game cases, majority of the cases just left a little bit outside of, before we're really gonna focus on a lot of other cases. For now we're gonna continue the main story. That's the Amorous Love case, because that one has a lot of it takes a lot of time. Yeah, let's get to it. The previous cases we did, we also took some trophies. In part 1 I checked what requirements for each trophy you can achieve, and we also have some furniture we can buy, so I'm gonna do that as well, because the furniture is part of the other case. It is Tale of the Empty House, and that is for the majority that will take the game, because the other furniture will unlock to be able to be bought when you progress in the story, and then you will see on certain places. I haven't been through all of the places you can buy furniture. When you have one down there is in Grand Sari. You have one. You have the one in the old miners inn market, the miners end area. You have the one in Silverton, just besides the bridge. Besides that, you have one in Old City as well. I'm not sure out of my head if I already walked by everything. Yeah, let's buy some furniture first.
The finest clothes for the finest people on the island.
That's the clothing one. This one.
Landscapes and pot. My goods will.
So, buy.
Enjoy your purchase. Make your garden cozier. Sorry, I have nothing to offer you at present.
Okay, that was nothing, so we got a painting there. Then in a miner's end, you can also buy. Let's fast travel to the market. Yeah, all the furniture you can buy throughout the game. It's also important to note that most of the money you'll earn in-game from solving cases and arresting bandits in the bandit layers, so not killing them.
The war's closed. Step right. Why would you even come here then?
The best the flea markets can offer.
Take a look.
So yeah,
I hope
bandit
you
layers,
like what
you
you
get
put.
more money, game money if you arrest them. Also, how quick you do it. Yeah, I haven't added the bandit layer yet because for me personally it's not needed because I played the game before, but if this is your first walkthrough, you have to at least battle in each of the bandit layers at least once. So you have one in each city area. There's a to sell. Nothing to sell. To sell. Okay, then we can go to the Holmes house. So we solved the Muse abroad from abroad case as one of the main story cases. We also finished the Golden Gates case, and from the third one and the fourth main case of the story can already unlock quite a lot. We also have like this one. This is to check the stuff out in the yard. When you have pinned that, you can you'll be able to check some more memories from Sherlock. Later on in the game, you receive here in the mailbox outside of the gate. You receive post, and there you can start some more DLC content if you have that. And this is encrypted postcard, an envelope with no text, and a postcard inside. The postcard depicts a building and is labeled Old Church. Text on the postcard reads, "There are those in need in this place, however some of them need less than others. The postcard brand is my favorite craft, and the logo features a little farm." The rugged informant case. So yeah, we will not be doing that right away. So yeah. I cannot remember directly out of my head if this was a DOC case or not, but I think so, because most of the cases from the DOC, they are either already marked on the map, some of them, on how to start them, and some of them you receive in the mailbox, but for now it's not important because I'm focusing a bit more on the main chapter before I'm gonna go through all the side quests in the game. So the archived one is the ones we already did. The majority includes 6 police cases, which most of them you can pick up on the bulletin board in the Cordona police office. We had 3 cases from Mycroft in game, so that's not the DLC, but it's just in-game content. And with the finishing of the Muse from abroad, we received
The best place for reading.
from Vogel, the artist, that he will send us a delivery, and that's here. So let's see what's inside. Huh. A statue.
What a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar.
Did you just remember something?
Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare...
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Ja, let us meeting Mycroft. At least the younger version. Girl version.
Just look at this thing. It's huge.
Yeah, so let's inside because Sherlock remembers about a specific room in the house.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the Cabinet of Curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that. Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator, and this was her Cabinet of Curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him.
Yeah, upon opening this room or gaining access to it, you also receive a trophy that's linked to the Cabinet of Curiosity.
Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
At least to try.
Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace D. Oram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down.
Yeah, if you didn't get it, that book was clearly a reference to the original writer of Sherlock Holmes.
The full plate armour of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol. When you're finished here, can we build a wigwam from the blankets? Like in the good old days?
Now the desk. A stack of papers, Otto Rigger's personal notes. Mrs. Holmes is a patient of considerable interest and an ideal test subject to explore some of my theories. I will attempt to repeatedly immerse her in the traumatic situation that precipitated her mental illness. It is my belief that reliving that may give her mind a chance to embrace what happened, accept it, and effectively cure itself. I'm confident in my hypothesis and merely need to prove it. In addition, it's a fortuitous to be around the broader Holmes family. Perhaps I will be able to also examine the hereditary of psychological threats, be they competencies or disorders. It is already apparent that all family members share an uncommonly high intelligence. It appears that the mother's conditions have begun to affect the mind of the youngest boy, Sherlock. While I cannot conduct a proper medical examination due to the protectiveness of the elder son, it seems that the boy suffers ongoing hallucinations in the form of an imaginary friend, John. Okay, to the order, you have a tonal diploma. A torn diploma, found in the Cabinet of Curiosities. Someone deliberately ripped it in several pieces. Reassembled and translated, the diploma reads On behalf of the board of the University of Geneva, Switzerland, we, rectors of the university, noting that Mr. Otto Richter has undergone the tests required by the laws and regulations, confer on him the degree of Doctor of Medicine with the right and prerogatives so attached.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. Wonder why someone would do that.
Okay, there's an sending.
The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject.
The other one is after you have taken the letter. Is another letter. A letter from Otto's brother. My dear brother, I heard you recently arrived from Cordona. Have you come to see me? I do miss our evening conversations, even if we never agreed in our opinion. Cordona is home to a stunning new art gallery, which I visit every Thursday. Meet me there. Oh, and do not see Klaus. Klaus, I left that name behind. So that explore the rooms.
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
Another statue. Cabinets.
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
Big skeleton. The desk next to it, a letter from the judge. Dear Mr. Holmes, please accept my deepest gratitude for your recent help with that personal matter. I shudder to think what might have happened were it not for your keen eye and sharp mind. Rest assured, should our paths cross once again, you will be greeted by a grateful friend, His Honor Judge McDougal.
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand.
So, business card.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Carefully opened. Dated 24th of April, 1869.
Court summons letter. Mr. Mycroft Holmes, the Cordona City Hall writes to inform you that the trial of Dr. Otto Richter in the death of Mrs. Violet Holmes has been assigned to His Honor Judge McDougal. Your application for a closed hearing has been granted. You are hereby informed that the prosecution has called you as a primary witness in the trial of Dr. Richter. You must present yourself at the criminal court of Cordona on the date listed over leave. So, Mycroft apparently shoot. Shoot the doctor, I guess. Okay. Okay.
Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido. I'm starting to remember something.
There's some okay. The memos in the manner accidents in a chamber of curiosity.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons.
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
Let's check out the corner of the room first.
I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
Let's if we can.
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
Now we're gonna find out where the key is left. Have to walk faster.
The painting on the wall was slightly at tilt. He stopped and straightened it.
By the fireplace.
Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if...
Now we can examine fireplace.
I think this is what we're looking for.
Tiny key on the left and on the right side.
A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it?
So now we got the key and we can unlock the drawer in Cabinet of Curiosities room.
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room. We made it. So what's there?
Gifted by Queen Victoria herself. Single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favourite.
A present from the Queen. A half bottle of fine single malt whiskey, Mycroft's favorite drink. We found it locked in the drawer of the desk in the curiosity cabinet, among a pile of important documents. Remarkably, it seems that the whiskey was a gift of Her Majesty Queen Victoria herself.
Otto Richter.
Dossier.
Otto Richter.
Oh, we cannot. Oh.
This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Mycroft research. Otto Richter is 45 years old, born to a respected family in Bern, Switzerland, unmarried, no heirs. Medical practitioner, graduated from the University of Geneva, Switzerland. Graduation was postponed a year due to a minor scandal on one of his placements. Parent died of an cholera in 1863. Only remaining family is in half-brother Klaus, age 35. Present whereabouts of Klaus Richter unknown. Last seen on Cordona. But yeah, from the letter we saw in the room, the brother of him has an assumed a different name.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Now we can accept.
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what, and we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
So now let's do what happens when they were young.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
The curious conversation. It all happened shortly after the incident in Violet's room on April 9th. Sherry decided to play with artifacts in the Cabinet of Curiosities, and of course I went with him. As a result, we became unintentional witnesses to an argument between Mycroft and Otto Richter. Sherlock's brother was angry. He was sure that Dr. Richter had done something dubious to their mother and that it had backfired. He called Otto a charlatan.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Yeah. That's it. Okay.
Sherry, look! We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Yes. I will be back in 2 minutes to check.
I think we deserve a rest.
We received an invitation from Bogle. Dear Mr. Holmes, I'm waiting for you at Kurt Manshew's mansion, Turquoise Lane, across from Cordona Abbey in northern Grand Surrey. Come at once if convenient, come anyway. Always your friend Vivi. P.S. I sent you the appropriate outfit for this place to avoid any unnecessary complications. I hope it fits.
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
Yeah, this is another big case. The main story. Sacrificial lamb. Yeah, this case is just a case before we get to the almost end of the game. It's of the main story of the modest love. So yeah, I will continue with the invite, the sacrificial lamb, and then after that we're gonna pick up all the cases, including the DLC content, because if we head towards the last main case of the game, it will be a point of no return, so it will be also a saving point. Yeah, so let's start with sacrificial lamb case. Okay, we can also check some new things in the modest law, the mind palace, Richter's experiments, Mike testified, suspicious psychiatrist. Michael did not like the methods of Dr. Richter and did not trust him. Testified against. Okay, nothing for now. So now we can go outside. So we got an outfit we have to wear. Let's check it out. Let's see. Ah, this one. The Prince of Darkness. This mask. And if we finish some of the DLC content, we also get outfits for John as well. For example, Mariner John. This is DLC content. This is from solving the case. This one is DLC content, and this one's also for solving a case. Yeah, let's find the place of Kurt Mansion is in North Grand Surrey, across from the Cordona Abbey. I think I've already found it. Still not sure. The Grand Abbey, if I remembered correctly, in northern Surrey. That house of the location. Either this building or this one, because it wasn't Turk was Lane. Okay, not that one. Turk was Lane. Ah, that's the Cordona Abbey, so we have to go there. I already walked past that, so let's fast travel. Let's head to the Abbey and across that should be the house where we have to go. Let's see. This Abbey crossroads.
That was the thud.
Again.
That was the third in a row, and all are in grand array. Of course, the police are still struggling to explain them. There's a wizard involved.
Yeah, this is. We need to whisper. We're standing in the crossing. Silent Way, Casino Boulevard, and yeah, Casino Boulevard crossing. That's near the new Plaza de Luso Hotel, because that is for DOC case. Kijk, what do the incidents in Grand Surrey have in common? Magical performance, wealthy houses and burglary. Stealing the show. 3 houses were robbed in Grand Surrey during magic shows. police are looking into it, but apparently without any progress. But this is a DLC beyond a joke, one of the first DLC cases that came out, which we will look into later. Let's see. I will note it down later for you. The description. You can look later on back to it. Oh. Okay, the house, this, the abbey. Okay, definitely have to walk back. Oh yeah, we go under here, find another bandit layer. That's here, close of the Cordona Abbey. Huh, alright, the Legacy Theater.
Hey, Sherry, can you do this? Oh, darn. I shouldn't have spoken. Look, the cutest thing you'll see all day. Hamlet staged by children.
Okay, there's also another Cordona story that will go back to a memory of Sherlock, or from Sherlock when they were young. Yeah. Yeah, there's also Paul's travel. Okay, let's go back to the house. Wait. Okay. Oh. Or we here we have to be, because there's the abbey. This is across the abbey. Yeah, the theater area is better to exit. So now we're at the picture. And you can see everyone's wearing a similar outfit as as Sherlock. We can continue inside. Okay. Let's get inside.
Welcome, sir.
I think we deserve a rest.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Now, that looks like fun. And everyone is masked.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Yeah, John issues another challenge that he wants to write an article. This is part of a trophy and we need to listen to two conversations. So yeah, let's start walking and around. Let's see. Yeah, there you have John sitting.
You should sit next to me and wait to be served.
Manchio's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Okay. This is the first one that was walk into the room to the left side. We have to uncover the identity of the disclosure scandal. Fired after incident. Cheating groom. Offended Duchess and a political crisis. 4. The Yellow Press. So we had to choose 4. Cheating groom, offended Duchess, fired after incident and political crisis. That gives us the clue. People described a scandal from a previous party. Vice Governor Cordona was found by his wife to be a Prussian duchess in the company of young men. Although the marriage was intended to be a political one, the emotions of the duchess were real. The incident instigated a political crisis between Cordona and Prussia. Although there were only a few notes of protest, the governor fired his protege.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists.
Okay, we're gonna find for another one.
Do you know what was here before Manchio's family bought it?
So the other one is when you enter the room, where you came from. Instead of going left, you go right, or if you went first to the left side, that means just going straight forward and you will get to the
Do you
next
know what was here before
conversation you're
Nantio's
listening
family bought it?
So you have to find out the history of the mansion. Mysterious disappearances. Magic circle. And an occultist architect. So 3 of them. The Yellow Press. Before the Manchus family, the mansion was owned by an occultist architect. He dedicated his life to conducting a powerful ritual from the Forgotten Dome, but ordinary magic circles proved too weak for it. That was why he built his mansion. A keen eye might have noticed that its shape corresponds with certain magical symbols, and some walls have cavities. One day, the architect simply disappeared. An ash stain on the floor was all that remained. Perhaps he was successful in his endeavor.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
We're gonna continue to look around. We haven't met with
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Gahor's it a guess?
Yeah, let's look around.
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. A time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, and something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
My mind already operates at a far higher level than most. I struggle to believe anything could improve it. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next, visit the victims, ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening begins in earnest. I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
So let's go to the altar room. So we have the key. So let's check it out. Let's go outside. The altar room is the back area or the area you're gonna enter. You have two sides. You have a library.
Well-known and recent plays to keep up to date with the current trends.
One of these books must open a secret passage. I know it.
Codex Orchis. Why does this occult book sound like a flower? Romantic poetry and prose. Someone's in touch with their feelings. These medieval botany and chemistry books look even more satanic than the occult ones.
Okay, let's check the door. Which Vogel set is the altar room?
My God. Was he here this whole time?
We found a body. That guy. So let's examine him.
Oh, these crime scenes always outdo my imagination.
So he has a head wound.
A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
Tattoo on his arm.
This crude tattoo partially covers his slave branding.
Knife.
This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance.
And the wound itself.
The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
Stab wound.
This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Someone killed him.
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. The herbs... This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry.
Huh. Curious. Okay, there's a room at the back. And there is something to the left outside an area you can explore. We check one of the tables.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
There was a stick, some kind of tool on the table as well. A bottle.
Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened. An open wound spoiled the carpet.
There was a blood stain on the ground or the sides. Nothing. So let's continue. Look around. Mirror. Empty. Not a mirror. Wait. The back side to the left, so not walking back to the body. You have door as well.
What about a quick pillow fight?
Let's enter through the door. Oh, we can first also get a stain. The concentration mode with a smoking lounge pint.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
Huh, okay. Let's go through the door. Got some back room.
The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain. Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Desk.
This is a different ritual.
A ritual scenario. I found a scenario of some sort of ritual with a remark written at the beginning. It says, "Read and rehearse this rite, Masius." The naked woman lies on the altar on a bed of flowers, symbolizing Mother Gaia, the one who leads the ritual moist body of the woman to awaken her inner fertility. Participants should chant at this moment and call for the man who can please Mother Gaia. Then the man who will impersonate the principle of life may come to engage in sexual intercourse with her. There's another letter besides the book. Manchio's note. Don't ignore the guests, Matthias. Stop boring them. They don't want to hear about your stupidities. They want to feel how beautiful they are and how generous you can be towards them. You are here to please and celebrate life. Remember, each guest paid a great deal to be with you. Manchos.
How can anyone accept such behaviour?
Then we have the area with the perfume.
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
So let's explore some. There is a closet.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Also the desk beside the one with the
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Would you recognise me in one of these? I suppose not.
tree mask hanging. Standard. And a key table.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me. The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Okay. But the rest is nothing. Cars.
Don't be jealous, Sherlock.
And Vern is also in the area. So let's talk to him.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right. Pull yourself together, Werner.
Huh.
What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were
Filling time?
waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil, not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? It is nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh, yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer, too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
Now we're gonna think of what happened. Wait. Okay. So we have the door. As stated in Fern's vocals. Testimony, for some reason it couldn't be open, so. And we don't know who the person is, so it's an unknown man at the door. Or at least busy with the key. Man who stabbed Fabio is also still unknown, since we don't know what the person looks like. Let's go over to the other area. Person might have interacted to a little desperate. The guy in question probably was hit. Rest in the other room, the back room. And no person clean themselves because the pitcher with water was empty. There was some water in the closet we found. Dirty, bloody rope.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a scuffle in the smoking lounge. Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Okay, let's check. Okay, check. The Mind Palace. Fabio was assaulted nearby. Fabio died. The ritual was a cover. Okay. Fabio was killed in a ritual murder, or the ritual wasn't over. Most likely is murder motive because it was already explained. The ritual that was staged will be featuring a woman on the altar. The altar was locked and unlocked, and Fabio keys remains untouched. The murderer had the key to the altar. That's what we know. Okay, we cannot.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner. Yes, he was stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or she could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
You can give evidence.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Of course. So, let's find the owner of the mansion. He wears a mask with golden stars on it. Let's see. Should be most likely someone. Okay, we have this guy. Okay. Standing by himself. Can barely see the gold stars. Oh yeah, you can just see above his middle where, oh yeah, his eyes are a gold star and there's also a star. The place where you could say there is his third eye.
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect the murderer to still be here.
What? Lower your voice. I don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise? What's going on? Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Huh. A police barge through the door. Huh. Also the sound of it. I see that the police arrest multiple people. Like how did they know that someone was here? That guy is just sitting in the chair watching. And Sherlock got arrested as well.
Look at you. Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in his letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Oh, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
Perhaps we can negotiate. I could be quite useful.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Let's make a start then, partner.
Oh yeah, if it chose the other option,
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
it doesn't really matter. You will end up with the same conclusion because you're gonna help the police because otherwise you will not be able to continue the story in any way. Okay, let's examine the table.
I can't go back to prison.
John says as if he was there. Okay. An evidence ticket. The provider of the ticket has permission to inspect all evidence on the case 6260. That can be handy. A report about this case, so 6260. Following a report from a witness of a satanic ritual who claimed to have found the body, the raid on the mansion was granted. It resulted in the arrest of multiple suspects and dispersal of a group in masks and robes caught in the acts of gross indecency and unnatural behavior. The body of the victim was found lying on an altar with a knife wound in his chest. The officers identified the victim, Fabio, 20, a local performer and artist. Arrested suspect V. Vogel had a letter of an insulting nature in his possession which had been written by the victim. He claims to have found the body. He is infamous for his eccentric personality. Sherlock Holmes carried a murder weapon, a dagger with the victim's blood and other items of evidence. He was invited by another suspect, V. Vogel, presumably to obstruct the official investigation. K. Menschels, the owner of the mansion and organizer of the satanic party, paid the victim to participate in the ritual and had access to the crime scene. Matista, Fabio's partner and participant in the ritual, tried to escape, resisted arrest, owned a book with a description of the ritual performed in the altar room. Some of the guests are temporarily detained for further questioning. Of course, some keys.
Back on track to solve the case.
The keys from the negotiations. A witness report, witness deposition. I, Santos Pinchetti, am a witness who reports a suspicion of murder at Mancho's mansion in Grand Surrey. During preparations for the social party, I heard loud noises from the closed altar room. Immediately I thought of the sacrifice of a living being overviewed by none other than Kurt Manchels. There was blood on the walls, strange symbols, and a dagger in the heart. As soon as I was able to think clearly, I rushed to the police station to report my findings. The station responded to the deposition by sending a patrol, while the witness left the station and went home. Okay. Okay, so we know one of the persons went home. So let's talk to the other.
Look, I found Werner.
Let's see. Oh, let's change out of this globe.
I'm doing my part. You should do yours too, Holmes.
Shifty. Bichetti is a suspect. Bichetti is a suspect who should be arrested and questioned. He had a key, which he did not mention in this position. Okay, what rest we cannot add clues. Okay. Provide some evidence.
Have you considered Mr. Santos Pinchetti as a suspect?
The snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here. They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to interrogation room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's examine some more stuff. Also got a ticket for the evidence. You can pick that
Did
up.
you hear Basilio Capello is in jail? A dead body was found.
That's probably from another request, I'm not sure. Let's listen to the two whisper.
Is this familiar to you?
Oh,
I cannot help, but I can sell your fancy suit.
okay, now the whispering,
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail?
someone is in jail. Okay. Claim innocence. Get in safe.
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail?
Armored Capello Company. Claim innocence.
Wow, did you catch that, Sherry? I didn't. Better listen more closely.
Did you hear Basilio Capello is in jail?
So we need claims innocence, wife, death in the safe, and armor Capello Company. And the clue says death in the safe. My curiosity has been piqued by talk that Basilio Capello, the owner of the famous Armor Capello Home Security Company, has been arrested. The situation is quite peculiar. A man named Niccolo Detti has been found dead inside a safe in Basilo's store. Basilo claims innocence, but the evidence is against him. He's being held in the holding cells at the police station.
In the police? Let's pretend to be cops, eh? We could just stand around and look confused.
This is the iron coffin case. That's one of the few you need for a trophy. Together with the blindsided and the third microphone case, in-game microphone case, Love, Death and Cordona. But yeah, we're not gonna continue that. So we're gonna continue that later on. Yeah, let's go to the evidence room because we were looking for the main story. Got a ticket. Evidence ticket. Check it out.
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
So, provide the evidence, give the tickets.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual murder. What a bunch of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
Okay, now we can check the 3 boxes with evidence of each of the suspects.
I'm busy. You've already used up your quota of me helping you.
An emergency kit for boredom.
A letter from Fabio. The letter was found in Vogel's evidence box. Is your mind unsound? You can't control your bitterness, not around me anyway. For me it's too great a risk to ignore that kind of behavior. I can speak and play with anyone I choose. I'm not another Matista. You pay me, but you haven't bought me. Of course I keep all your generous donations, even though they hardly compensate for your last terrible outburst. I'm leaving you, although Matista will still be around.
Not the time for privacy.
Huh.
Werner's personal sketchbook.
Okay, the second box. Some keys.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring. It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
A ruby ring.
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
So that's the evidence that the owner of the mansion had. Manchos. Now check the other one from Matista.
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings. Her key to the altar room. That's not for bedtime reading.
A book about occult.
This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
The power of love, blood, and mandrake. The police found this occult book in Matista's bag during the arrest. According to the ex libris, the tome was taken from Mr. Manchos' collection. It contains illustrations and descriptions of a ritual similar to the crime scene. Prepare the naked body of a recently deceased object of interest. Draw symbols of Mars and Venus to enhance the power you possess to use the force of male and female nature. Pierce his heart with a golden dagger to be rid of the blood that does not love you. Draw a symbol representing your love while waiting for the resurrection. Recite the charm.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room. Thank you, officer.
Okay. Let's go back to the cells. Talk with the suspects. Also, Fern is here as well.
What a bunch of losers.
Werner, are you alright?
Oh, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free you.
Ha! What did you expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obeys?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
Think it doesn't really matter which answer you want to choose.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island? Why not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
Yeah, at this point, we cannot ask them that much. Yeah, let's ask the order.
Let me see what I can do about all this.
Let's see the orders first, then we can go back to have them answer our questions. So let's find the people. Now, here's a suspect.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Keys in a letter. Kurt Mancho's will and note. A small note attached to the will says, Santos, my hopeful slug, you begged me to include you in my will, so I did. Here's my latest revision of the will, Kurt. The text of the will under the note: Santos Pinchetti, the majordomo of Mancho's mansion, sees a jar of mustache wax, a salt lamp that he might always remember his caring employer Kurt Manchos. Huh. Okay, let's examine.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
So now we can observe him. The neck area, chest area, the shoulder, one of the lapels of his suit jacket, and his shoes. So we have the clues: patched holes repaired multiple times, inflamed skin, psoriasis of allergy, dye textile colored more than once, blood spatter, stabbed in blood. Since he has kind of old clothes, he has financial difficulties. The character portrait: Santos Pinchetti.
You are the majordomo of a rich mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothing. You hide, under heavy makeup, a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money troubles?
I do not have a lot of means. The pay is below what you might expect.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest?
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was tedious. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always Fabio-centric.
And Batista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
Okay, yeah, we can just go click the evidence.
I know nothing about this. I know nothing about this.
Mr. Manchios says that you begged him to be included in the heritage. Isn't that a little extreme, even for a majordomo?
He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I'm his next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love, cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadents. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a majordomo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. while he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties. He paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship.
Okay. So we got some clues. So let's talk to the others. The other people. They are 6. Batista was in 7 and Byrne was in 8.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Now we're gonna observe her. Neck area. Chest area. She has a tattoo. Her hands. Her wrist. She cuts herself. Her ankle. Her arm. So we have bitten nails, nervous, blood-filled bruises obtained recently, shackle scars, old unbearable visible, burn mark inflicted with a branding iron, old and healing cuts, self-inflicted, and primitive occult tattoo. Inked herself. She did it herself.
Fabio and yourself were slaves, am I correct? You have a similar branding on your body.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Couldn't help but also notice fresh cuts upon your forearms.
The cuts helped me to forget my past, to cover the old wounds and hide them.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Cordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
So now we can show her evidence and just click on anything you want to show her. If they cannot give information about that, they will say so.
I have nothing to add. I have nothing to add. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say. I have nothing to add.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Okay.
This book, The Power of Love, Blood and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so. Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
So I got some more clues. A lot of them. Matthews gave Fabio expensive gifts. The letter may have been for Manchu. Batista had fresh bruises. Batista was bruised by the guest. The murderer cleaned himself. Machete missed the blood spatter. But the notice. So Fabio bruised Batista during their fight in the smoke. Now Fabio bruised Batista or Batista was bruised by guests. No. Question mark. Santos Bassetti's efforts in vain. Machete had to forcibly work. Machete missed the blood spatter, or Machete accidentally stepped in blood. While discovering the crime scene, he saw it when cleaning himself. Huh. We are not sure yet. Batista may have used a ritual. Fabio. Huh. Okay. Let's talk to Mr. Menchos. This is cell 5 across.
Good day, Mr. Manchios. I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained boors. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the boars again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy, after all.
I need to examine you first.
Okay, let's observe the guy. His face, his cheek area. His ear. His hand. His shoes. Rouge. Wears makeup. Red spots. Rash from exposure to a hair dye. Soap on the fingernails. Washed hands in a hurry. Quality polished leather. Lavishly expensive. So he's either a stickler for cleanliness or hides his aim. But based on the other stories, doesn't really care for cleanliness what he does that do by someone else. And he wears makeup. You don't necessarily wear it if you like to be clean. Yeah. Hide his age.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to adapt.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails. Are you so impatient, or perhaps even impulsive?
I wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was focused on.
Huh.
What was Fabio like? His personality, his habits? Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either say or hear.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me, as long as it enhances my party.
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true labourers, I see.
You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protégé wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you insane that you would accuse me of such a thing?
He did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Of course.
That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police. You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful, then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protégé and my beacon also. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
Yes.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
Interesting. Now we can talk to him.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchios?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchios could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchios. Clients who are in love are both a blessing and a curse.
But Fabio was here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchios.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchios?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away. I know I can handle the news.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
Please let me out.
Okay. We have almost something. Let's talk to 4.
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti.
Do I know him?
The major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you?
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him. The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even...
Okay. Cannot talk. Let's see the Mind Palace. So Vogel took the letter under influence, or Manchu planted the letter. Oh. Could be either. Manchus washed himself after the murder. Kurt Manchus cleaned himself of the blood of Fabius. But Manchus set himself up for debauchery. So you either murdered him or it was a setup. Okay. Fabio broke Kurt Marshall's heart.
Recommend that some of my friends visit the place. I know you can untangle this mess.
Please let me out.
I know I can handle the news.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
Let's see if the cop can talk something.
I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Okay. So now we have all clues. So we have to choose. Who did it? So either Santos Bichetti was the murderer, or Kurt Manchos is the murderer. Or we even have that Batista is the murderer. So yeah, to get the trophy Vengeance of the Lamb, you have to accuse one of the three, and you have to make sure that their punishment is death. They have to get the death penalty. And also, before you accuse someone, save your game in case you do not get the trophy. Otherwise, I have to do everything again. So yeah, kijk none of them is because you don't have any clear issues. did it. Because basically everyone could do it, because Manchus could do it, because Fabio was gonna leave it. Batista could have done it because he thought he didn't love her. And Santos may have done it out of revenge or jealousy, because he's apparently the nephew of Manchus, but he's treated like a nobody. So yeah. Yeah, to get, for example, Manchus as the killer, but to make sure he gets the death penalty to get the reward. But yeah, this walkthrough I already played the game before, so for me it will not show up. So yeah, you can choose either of the three. So Santos. Ah. So yeah. Batista. Okay. Yeah, neither of them. Good or bad. Yeah, to get the trophy you need to choose someone and give them the death penalty. Then to conclude the case, have to go back to the jail, talk to one of the suspects.
Are you done yet? Can I leave?
What a bunch of losers.
Yeah, each of them are not better than the other. think she might have not done it. At least she did not do killing it first. I don't know. The guy was probably already dead when she found and did the ritual. I think either of the guys did it. Yeah, but the question is who? Also the fact that Santos went to the police first is a bit strange, but yeah. Anyway.
The murder of Fabio did not have a ritual purpose, Mr. Manchios. It was staged by a man who wished to distract the investigation.
That might be true. That poor girl Matista wouldn't dare to kill the only man who cared for her. So, Santos.
Mr. Pinchetti snatched at the chance to solve his problems.
Ungrateful little scum. Will he be executed?
But what for? He informed the police as to the crime, that was all. He couldn't stage the ritual, but he found the body, I believe.
I can't believe it. Why did Werner do it?
Mr. Vogel. He had no reason, and he won't be a scapegoat as you plan. You put Fabio's letter in his pocket when he was intoxicated, didn't you?
You can't be serious.
You're at the twilight of your life. You have no partner, you have no children. You had feelings, however, for one man. That was Fabio. You loved him. That is, you wished to own him with money and gifts. But he was also a free mind, was he not? He turned his back on you. Quite unjust. Love, so cruel and painful, and Fabio, with his words and deeds, made you feel the more wretched. So you killed him.
You must surely perceive that my sensitive nature wouldn't allow me to hurt anyone.
We can very often deduce someone's life by their shoes or their fingernails. You are a meticulous person, but this murder was fairly traumatic and filthy. After you stabbed Fabio, you were covered in blood. You panicked and neglected to rinse the soap from under your fingernails. The devil is in the details, Mr. Manchios.
Nonsense. I missed it simply because of the busy schedule of the party.
Of course, a staged murder was certainly not planned. You staged the murder as a satanic ritual. It was easy for you, since you were the one who wrote the scenarios for the parties. It was your way of avoiding suspicion. A respectable man in his 60s,
early 60s,
who hosts the cream of Cordona society, cannot possibly be a murderer. But the guests who behave like animals in his mansion, of course, one of them could have killed Fabio.
I did oversee a few of the rituals, but I did not stage Fabio's death.
Yeah, to give the chosen character the death sentence, so he can get achievement. In Mr. Mention's case, you have to so yeah, if you choose good, you have to choose predetermined murderer at the end of the conversation. With Santos, you have to say it's called revenge, and you have to, in a dialogue when speaking to him, you have to choose who deserve the gallows. And with Matista, you have to choose you are a monster. Then she will be each of the characters, yeah. So save before you go accuse someone, in case the trophy, the achievement doesn't unlock. You don't see the notification of it.
Fabio played with your feelings. That was painful to realize. You spent so much time and effort to be with Fabio, but he didn't respond in the way that you would have liked. You wanted to be loved, but Fabio shattered your dreams. In the smoking lounge, he teased and mocked you. He wanted you to suffer by offering himself to others. The deception was unbearable. You were passionate, and so you struck him. Once you understood your mistake, it was too late. You were afraid, so you staged the ritual. With such a story, you might be sentenced to a few years. It might clean your conscience, and soon the case will be forgotten.
No. No.
This is my decision. I'll talk to Constable Oswald to see what I can do.
Now we've accused him. So let's talk to the police officer in charge. Shall we end this case? Sherlock will receive more information regarding his mother.
There's no fool like an old fool. Kurt Manchios did it. A young boy played with the heart of an old man. The latter couldn't handle it. The evidence I obtained clearly shows that the quarrel was not intended to end badly. It was an accident.
Showing pity towards your own kind, Holmes. Whatever.
All I'm saying is that prison won't take much away from an old and crushed man.
Fine. A big name like that will still give me a promotion. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones, including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Yeah, he got the 20 in-game money. So we got the report case number file 0743. Officers arrived to find the deceased identified as Mrs. Violet Holmes lying in the garden of Stonewood Manor. Visual inspection showed the victim to be thoroughly soaked, with a deep vertical incision 2 inches in length. Down her throat, her face was swollen and covered in red blotches. Likely cause of death, hypoxia, awaiting confirmation from medical examiner. Main suspect, Otto Richter, was arrested on the scene. The body was sent for autopsy.
Garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've all...
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
Oh, yes. It's a struggle, but yes, we can make our own decisions. That's what I fight for.
What an endless fight it is. Will you ever give yourself a break, Sherlock? You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
So the guy just pushes it all. Oh. Yeah, so you have now entrance to the garden. Either his mother was drowned or she didn't drown and she was so either she drowned or she didn't. Yeah, now we can access the last part of the mansion. Yeah, I will show it now, but we will not go there yet, because when you enter the garden, yeah, it will not. No. So let's show. We didn't find everything yet of the furniture of the home, so we're gonna do that as well. Now I'm gonna show you what happens when we go to that door that John is guarding.
Sherry, please listen to me. Sherry.
John, I always listen to you.
You don't have to do this. You don't have to go through. I don't know what is beyond this door, but I can feel it. Buzzing, angry, like a fly at the window.
I know. I can sense it too.
You locked away this memory for a reason. There is only pain here.
Pain? And truth.
You do not need to suffer either. There is so much more we can do on Cordona, so many others we can help. There is no coming back from this.
I find myself awash in uncertainty. Perhaps now is not the time, with so much left to do.
Thank you, Sherlock. Thank you. Some doors can remain closed.
Cordona still calls for us, yes. And we will answer. But know this, John. One way or another, we will find ourselves back in front of this door, unable to avoid the truth any longer.
Yeah, this is basically the point where you completed the main story, and if you go through the door to the garden, you will end the game, and then you with the possible endings. Yeah, for now let's focus on the other cases and the in-game cases first, and later DLC content, so we'll do a few cases now. Yeah, we're gonna do one. We're gonna explore. So, let's see. Oh, we can buy furniture. Let's buy some stuff from the house. Let's see.
The worst
yeah.
The best, the free. Take a look, mate.
Huh.
I hope you like what you bought.
most of the stuff you are able to buy if you always rent clothing. And then just spend minimal on other things. Let's see, where are we? Since we solved a few cases, there are also more. Oh, other way. There are also more newspapers you can buy. Do that as well. You can either buy them at a kiosk, or you can buy them to a newspaper stand, or you can buy them by the newspaper boys who sometimes stand on the corner of a street selling the newspaper. Okay, either is just one much year to pay for it.
Exquisite furniture for... Sorry, I've nothing to offer you at present.
Okay, nothing there, nothing there. Let's see. Nothing there. Heavy furniture. I cannot say out of my head if we found every furniture spot, but yeah, that quest we will do as well later.
Another.
Wait, that is an answer for a quest. Let's see, I'm not sure which
Another
one.
knife in the pillar.
Oh.
Another debt paid in blood.
It is for the case that's called the Pillar of Knives. Yeah, we will do that also.
Don't miss out on the... Merhaba.
And there go.
May your purchase bring you joy.
Okay, we've got even more items for the empty house. Yeah, I think I haven't found all the spots yet where we can buy furniture. Should be a few more. This is, I think, from a case, but I'm not sure which one. But yeah, we'll go there eventually too. So we're gonna do some cases. Where are we?
Did you hear another?
So yeah, we're gonna listen to the sailors. Beach by the cemetery. The work of a siren and police at the place. Tales of sirens. A sailor was found drowned on the beach by cemetery. People are talking about sirens, but that's just superstition, isn't it? So this is the case called Sirens. So now we're gonna go to crime scene. Then cemetery. Yes. fast travel to the Cordona cemetery and then walk to the beach area. Beach area. Good. Not to reach the bridge, but go downwards.
And the kiss mark, it's the work of a siren, I'm telling you.
Here to gawk at the bloater?
Not at all, officer. Perhaps I can help.
Help with what exactly? Solving an accident? Fellow drank himself to death, literally. Case closed. It's not the first case, neither. A few days ago, another drunken sailor drowned himself in a fountain.
What can you tell me about the other sailor?
Nothing to tell. Some rich chap complained about a dead body in a fountain. Wasn't me who inspected the scene, though. Should have gone easy on the bottle, if you ask me. They get to shore, they start drinking like fish. Too bad booze doesn't make them grow gills, eh?
See you later, officer.
What now? I've still got my report to write, so make it quick.
I would like to take a look around.
Go ahead. Just don't disturb the evidence, all right? I still have to write my report.
There's talk on the streets that a siren could be responsible for the drownings.
A siren? You mean the bird woman kind? Why, of course, we've got sirens aplenty round here. Harpies, too. Oh, please.
Okay, so now can examine the body.
Hobbies are a good way to take the mind off all the murders.
The water is shallow and the slope is smooth. One would have to be dead drunk to drown here. His whole body is tense, stiffened by rigor mortis.
Who's it? Oh.
Yes, thing on his head.
A kiss on the forehead is quite intimate, but the vulgar lip rouge suggests a different type of intimacy. Interesting.
Face.
Oh, who is it?
The face is frozen in a contorted smile.
His hand.
His fingers are clenched as if he's clutching to life even now.
His foot.
Worn, soaked boots, size 8. Something smells fishy here, and it's not brine.
Who's it?
It's a good thing the tide hasn't washed away the tracks. I should inspect them more closely. It's a good thing the tide hasn't washed away the tracks. I should inspect them more closely. Siren song. The rumours weren't so absurd after all. There's still some left, just enough for a tipple.
That's evidence. You can do the chemical analysis. Yeah, skip it. The sediment contains cyanide. Basically, is poison.
The sediment contained cyanide. It turns out he was poisoned.
Didn't the copper say that fellow drank himself to death? He wasn't wrong.
Yeah, we have to pin the next clue and now we can use concentration mode. We can follow the trail.
Light tobacco with a hint of citrus. A bright red lip rouge mark.
Yeah, Sherlock cannot swim, so don't walk in the water, because you will be moved to the nearest land place.
What now? I've still got my report to write, so make it quick.
I hate to break it to you, officer, but it wasn't an accident.
Care to elaborate, smarty boots?
The bottle of wine I found near the victim had been poisoned with cyanide. He was dead before he hit the water.
Whoa, that's a twist. Any leads on the poisoner?
Nothing to put my finger on, but I might need to inspect the other drowned sailor.
Well, of course I won't stop you. It's not my case anyway. We had a complaint about a body in a fountain. Can't have bodies laying about in fountains, can we? It was somewhere in Scaladio, as far as I know. You think they're connected?
That is what I intend to find out. Thank you.
So we're gonna go to the other... But yeah, like he said, he doesn't know anything except that it's in Colorado area. We can head to the police office. We can check the archive because it wasn't police investigation, so should be information there. Please, that is one. Okay, so the area is Colorado. Let's see. Patterns. Crimes. Victims. Subjects. No, let me take the documentation. Okay. So, report. Report number 1227. Sailor was reported drowned in a public park at the intersection of Harbor Avenue, Bakersfield Street, Escalado. At the time of the death, the victim was presumably under the influence of liquor. The body had a rash kiss mark on one of its cheeks. So, we're gonna go there. To the crime scene. Here, the public park, so it's close by the police station. So yeah, we can just walk to it. So we're busy with the siren song case. Let's see, that's oh, we walked by it, so it's in this area. Oh, there's the police station. Oh. You walk. This way, straight forward, and the park is on the right side. Here, yeah. And here's the crime scene.
Oh, look, they drained the fountain and removed the body. We're too late.
No matter, we'll work with what we have.
Go on, Sherry. Untangle the mess.
Yeah, so let's explore the clues of the crime scene. This is 3, 2, oh you missed one already. There's more. Oh, one is the crime
Drowning
scene.
in a 2 feet deep fountain. I've seen some things, but this really takes the biscuit.
Second area, there's a letter, a warning letter. Officer Eckley, it has come to my attention that you habitually forget to collect critical evidence from crime scenes. Such absent-mindedness is unacceptable for a police officer. I wouldn't be surprised if you forget this note somewhere too. This is your last warning, actually. I mean it. Chief Constable Donovan. Oh.
A cotton shawl. Could it be our sirens?
Something on the ground.
A worn leather tobacco pouch, salt stained from a long time at sea.
Okay, the bench has a newspaper.
Last week's newspaper, the front page reads, "Sky is the limit, Governor funds Arsenal's second airship."
A broken bottle.
A broken bottle with no label.
And a cigarette.
Light tobacco with a hint of citrus.
Oh. And lipstick stains. Another bottle.
This wine, again. Don't sailors prefer spirits? Drained to the last drop. The victim won't be needing his cap anymore. I might as well take it.
And cigarettes on the ground.
Ugh, the litter bin is right there.
Again, recreate the crime scene. What happened? Shutter. Most likely a woman smoking. He's most likely pushed. He was drinking.
This sailor is another victim of the same woman. She poisoned him and pushed him into the fountain to make it look like an accident.
Sherlock, the spot where he fell. I saw something. Maybe you should take a look. Sherlock, the spot where he fell. I saw something. Maybe you should take a look.
Venetian copper soldi. Authentic, but worthless.
Some broken glass and matches.
A water-soaked matchbox from The Drinking Dutchman. Must be a local pub.
And some
Blimey, the great
A
detective
fork.
is baffled by a piece of cutlery.
okay. So you gotta find. You have to go to the bridge. Yeah, and since it's a sailor bar, we're gonna give Sherlock the sailor outfit. You can even use the hat, but yeah, doesn't really matter because most of the time you only need the outfit. So let's fast travel to the bar, which we already found before because it's in the fast travel point, Drinking Dutchman, and also near the bridge, Victoria Bridge in Silverton. We have to where's the other? No. Wrong direction.
I've seen my family in ages. I want to go home. I'm shipping up to Boston in a few days.
Go down the stairs. You can walk inside. Let's see. You can also wear the walker's apron, but yeah. Okay, so in this quest you can also get a trophy called Curse Correction. So you have to talk to the barman and mention and hear him talk about choose the 3 people are dead option. You can talk to him again if you didn't. If you didn't manage to do it.
Pour me another, bartender.
What can I get you, mate?
Nah, I'm good. Don't want to end up like that guy who drowned in the fountain after having one too many.
Aye, I know the fella. Shame, damn shame. But let me tell ya, it wasn't the drink that got him. 'Twas a curse.
You're pulling my leg.
No kidding, mate. You sail long enough, you start taking it seriously. He was from HMS Achilles. Some British schooner, nothing special. Except one of them Jack Tars shot an albatross. Everyone knows it's bad luck. Everyone. The dimwit brought the curse upon his whole crew. 3 are dead already.
Then we have to choose the 3 people are dead. This will unlock a trophy.
Wait, I've heard of only 2 such accidents. Are you saying that another man drowned?
Drowned or not, they've all kicked the bucket. Just this morning, another member of the crew was found dead. It's a curse, I'm telling ya.
Yeah, we're obliged to find out if it's really a curse. Let's go and take a look at that sailor.
It must indeed be the curse, but how do you know all that?
Why, he told me the whole story himself.
The victim told you?
His crewmate. The one who killed an albatross, Harry Thorne. He's renting a room upstairs. Every day, he gets completely rat-arsed, raving on and on about the bird around his neck. He's sleeping it off right now. But when the blighter wakes up, it'll be the same thing all over again.
Do you have a free room?
Certainly do. Dirt cheap. Here's the key. Go pick anyone you like.
So we got a new location and another dead sailor. So now we can head to the Giant Sparrow Club. That's in Scalio, and I already walked past by it once, so that's where we're heading now.
Hey, Barkeep! Another one over here.
There's nothing to do else in this bar. I mean, you can talk to the people, but that's not necessary. So let's check out the order. So let's fast travel to Cordona City Hall. From there walk to the Giant Sparrow Club. Let's see that we walk out the right direction. direction. Okay, we walk just by it. Here. The giant sparrow. That's in Adler Street near the Cordona City Hall, which will be already on your map. So let's find the entrance.
This place stinks of urine and cheap alcohol.
Well, if it ain't Mr. Smarty Boots. Guess what? You were right about the poisoning, but this time I'm ahead of the game. We've got another homicide on our hands. Same method, same everything. See for yourself.
Another dead sailor.
After all this, I assume we're going to meet a werewolf next.
So let's examine the body. His head.
He suffered a head wound. There's caked blood in his hair underneath all the mud.
The brick next to him.
A sharp, bloody rock stuck deep in the mud. The officer must have rolled the body over.
The broken bottle.
An empty bottle of rum. There'd be no sirens.
And near his foot.
Looks like he slipped. This was clearly an accident.
So now talk to the officer and you will get the trophy from the course correction.
What did I tell you? We've a killer on the loose. I knew it.
That may be true, but this here is very clearly an accident. The victim slipped and hit his head on a rock. I would have thought it obvious.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I thought I had all this sewn up. But you just had to come along and make me look like an idiot. I hope you're happy now, genius. Just move along.
So it was a curse after all. The curse of clumsiness. I hope
Yeah.
it's not contagious.
So another dead sailor. It was John's challenge and also unlocks a trophy. So now we can head back to the drinking Dutchman bar, sailor bar. We have to be dressed as a sailor or a worker's uniform. So yeah, let's head inside the bar and check out upstairs. Okay, I'm really bad at this. Directions apparently.
Come, let's continue on your quest for the truth.
This place you have the poster that will lock the case, Ghost Hunter. Okay, keep walking around. Okay, this is the bridge. Okay, I really walked past by the... Why? Okay, I don't recognize the buildings. Okay. Side street, go back into the cafe, drinking Dutchman, and we have to head upstairs. Let's see the sides. only one room you can enter.
Oh, it smells of stale cigarettes and damp bed sheets. Not exactly the best place to stay in town.
Of course. Some reason. Okay, for some reason I cannot interact with anything new. Should be clues. Okay. I'm gonna walk outside and inside again. Is this not a room? We can also.
Oh, the smell alone makes me feel groggy.
Okay, we were in the wrong room.
If he stopped drinking, the entire alcohol industry would collapse.
Picture.
The photo of the cursed crew. Here's Thorn, and right next to him, our first drowning victim. Crew of HMS Achilles, Cordona, 1879.
The same as we saw earlier. She's pretty free with her kisses.
Perhaps too much for her own good.
A letter from Eliza. My dear Harry, you probably don't remember me, but I remember you. How could I ever forget our shared night of passion? Now that you've returned to Cordona, why don't you visit me at the Garden of Delights? You won't regret it, I promise. And don't you worry about the money. You are my very special client. Thinking of you, Eliza. So that the Garden of Delights, that's the red district in the game. We already passed by it.
Now we walk into a trap, guns blazing. The game is afoot, Sherry boy.
Well said. I think I'll borrow that line from you, old chum.
Oof, he's really gone on a binge.
He's out cold. No use trying to wake him.
So yeah, we're gonna find the location. Which I already walked by in one of my previous videos. Oh, is it? No. Oh.
Call me John the Cannonball. Do you like my moves?
So yeah, normally you have to talk to people near the street. But yeah, I already passed that area on the map, and it's also in
Look who's
Silverton.
here.
It's like we're here and the area is here in Garden Delight, so that's towards the Garden of the Delights past travel point. If you have passed the Rolling Bricks Bridge, it's the other bridge that is near Scaladio. So I have to walk the right direction, but I will also show the clues.
Can I ask you a question?
Ah, I know this, yeah, let me help you.
So we have a new entry. If you talk to someone with the ding, you will get the information with the street and all. But yeah, you can also walk past by it when you're exploring Fleary. Then you will automatically have it added to the map. So yeah, let's run towards there. And here it's clearly visible because of the red lights.
Could you help me?
No, honey. I've heard nothing.
Okay, we have to talk to...
Come on over, lovey. Don't be shy. I can see you're up for some fun. Madame Pauline will see you right. Girls, boys, a bit of both. Whatever tickles your pickle, darling.
So we talk to the woman and show the scarf, the cotton shawl we found near the drowning victim.
I'm looking for a specific girl. This is her shawl. Do you have any idea where she might be?
Ah, I know who you mean. It's the goody two shoes down the street. She's not one of mine, though. She's not even a working girl, if I say so myself. Trust me, lovey. We'll give you a much better time.
I don't doubt it, Mom, but I have to see her first. Thanks for your help.
Okay, so we have to...
Some other time, perhaps.
I need to find her. Can dress a bit more sailory. Okay, we have to find her, and she's there. She's close by the bridge, the rolling bricks bridge. So we walk to there.
Yeah, I think we should interrogate some of them. What hell, all of them.
Hi there.
Let's see, we're all there. She's the woman standing here on the corner, just at the start of this Garden of Delights area.
Harry, dear, you finally... Oh! I'm sorry, sir. I thought you were someone else.
Who did you think I was, miss?
I'm waiting for a friend. He's a sailor, like you. Sorry again for the confusion. I'm waiting for a friend. Please leave me alone.
Okay, so to continue, we have to completely look like the picture. So let's go to a clothing stall, because we only have the head. But we also need the beard. There's one in the picture.
Another knife in the beard.
Because you already saw that
Nice.
that you will not be able to the same beard. That's the Shenandoah beard. It is rendered. So we got the heads already, the crime scene. We need to wear the marine outfits. Oh, surrendered.
Be careful with what you...
Because the other uniform was the sailor uniform. I'm not sure if it matters. Yeah. Let's go back to her, just fast travel. Then she would think we are that person in the picture.
Harry, it's you! I knew you'd come. It's been so long, but you haven't changed a bit. I don't suppose you remember me, do you?
It doesn't matter what you answer, just agree with her.
Can't say that I do.
Oh, it's all right. I expected as much. You were a few sheets to the wind the night we... You know, I'm Eliza, but you can call me anything you like, my lovely. Did you get my letter?
Ah, yes, the letter. Hello, Eliza.
Hello, handsome. I've missed you. I wonder if you still have your prowess. Why don't we go to my place for some wine and something extra?
How could I refuse such an offer from a pretty girl like you? Let's go right now.
Wonderful. Follow me. It's not far from here. Well, here we are. Make yourself comfortable, love. There's wine on the table. You should have some, loosen you up. Bring out your naughty side.
Won't you drink with me?
Absolutely. I'll join you in a minute. I just need to powder my nose.
All right then. I'll be waiting for you, pet.
Did you just call her pet? Seriously? Boy, you are truly hopeless, Sherlock.
Okay. So we're in her house. So now we can explore it while she's away.
Siren's song. She is consistent, I'll give her that. The bottle was open and the cork replaced.
So there's a chance that it is now poisoned with cyanide.
A fresh lick of paint, some warm touches, and anyone could call this place a home.
Which door? Can we walk to there?
Hey, if you want to keep this stupid act up, you better pour out the wine and quick. Come on, put this poor lad out of his misery. Hurry up, she'll be out any second.
HMS Achilles, Friday, 5 p.m. She prepared for their arrival.
There's a letter, modest letter. My dear Eliza, with this I'm sending you the money that I promised in my last letter. Your father may still blame you, but I don't, darling. I know that none of it was your fault. He won't listen to me, but I'm sure he misses you too. I beg you, return home. Until then, you are in my thoughts and prayer. Your loving mother, Rachel, Esposito.
The beloved child of a rich family.
So yeah, we have to hurry with searching.
Come on, hurry up.
The other desk with the mirror.
This lip rouge looks good on her. Just saying.
Eliza's diary. Another one is dead. Today, as I watched the ripples all around him, I should have felt relief, yet I felt nothing but my own pain. If only the memories could fade away like those ripples. I wish I could forget that dirty alley. That fear and helplessness. That feeling of their hands all over my body, I can't wash it away, not even by killing them. But there is only one left, it's too late to stop. Huh? So Eliza was probably... yeah. Cigarettes.
Ah, she's smoking citrus-flavoured cigarettes. The dots connect.
And a bottle.
White powder with a bitter almond-like odour. These are no smelling salts. It's cyanide.
Oh, here she comes.
Sorry for making you wait, sweetie. I hope the wine has kept you good company.
Okay. So yeah, you can choose either option. If you choose it was what I needed, she will recommend that the bottle is still closed and Sherlock will reveal himself. With the other option, he will also reveal himself. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
Cyanide is not exactly the best company.
Wait, what's happening?
It's time I drop my act. This beard is false. I'm not Harry Thorne.
Oh, I see. You're from the police then, yes? Here to question me?
There's no need. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I know that you killed Thorne's crewmates, and I know why.
Well, Mr. Holmes, you can save your breath. I won't deny a thing. But please stop tormenting me with this farce. Do what you must.
So yeah, now we can turn her in or don't. But if you turn her in, she will drink the poisoned wine and die. And if you choose the other, she will not commit any crimes anymore. And like always, the cases you solve do not influence the main story or other cases at all. In the worst case, they only influence the newspapers you can buy. So it doesn't really matter. Choose what you want.
I will keep it a secret, but you do have to stop.
How can I stop now after all I've done? I thought it would bring me solace. Stupid. It is too late.
You cannot undo what you've done, that much is true, but it's not too late to move on. It's never too late.
You're right. You must be right. I knew it all along, I just didn't have it in me to admit it.
I'm glad that you do now. And here's your shawl. Try not to lose it again.
I won't. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Thank you so much.
So yeah, case completed. So John's diary. He will, most of the time he would say the same things. It's been a while I showed it so you can read it. But he will either comment on how fast Sherlock finds information in the archive, whether he arrested or killed people in in-game fighting, or how fast he solved clues or did the right thing to do or chose to do the opposites. For example, saving the elephant or not. Yeah, over time it will be the same kind of answers or dialogue. So that was that one. We can go with string theory. We have to find a missing violin, and you also will get a trophy from it. It's called his first bow, a reference to his to the violin. Yeah, so you either had to find it by listening to people whispering, or find the posters. The Clemens Cathedral in Scotland, or you listen to two people whispering, two men whispering about it. Yeah, it's either way. Yeah, let's check it out. So let's fast travel to the area. So here's the cathedral, and there on the building you will find posters. We have to walk. this side street, then we can also go to by the newspaper stand and pick up some newspapers.
Extra, extra! Good! Check the front page. You won't regret it.
So for some of the cases you'll get answers or what the newspaper writes about it. The cases we solve. Yeah. Let's continue with the missing file. So you have to look at a poster like this one, or you can listen to the whispering of the two guys in front of the Cordona police station. And then you get the case, and if you do the violin poster first, you will get right away the clue. Stolen violin. Stolen. My old violin has been taken. If you have any information that may aid in my instrument's return, please visit me on Professor's Road, north of Adler Street in Scarleo. All help appreciated. Anthony Jones. So we're gonna visit his house. We already walked by it a few times, I think. Because that's this Adler Street, and it is Borg something Harbour Avenue. It's in this area. And as you can see, there are no posters, but which are only near the cathedral.
The best antiques in the district. My goods will brighten up your...
And let's buy some furniture.
Enjoy your purchase.
This updates the case of the empty house. Yeah. So we found the items, but yeah, we're not at the quest yet. So that was another furniture store, which you only find if you walk by it. Otherwise you won't see it, but yeah. We're not looking at that one right now. Oh, what direction? Go around.
I'm having deja vu. This house seems so familiar.
Yeah, this is the area.
Greetings. Would you be here about my violin by any chance?
I am. I saw from your posters that it was stolen. The name is Sherlock Holmes.
Very pleased to meet you, Mr. Holmes. I'm Anthony Jones. But by the sounds of it, you haven't seen my instrument, alas. But if there's anything you can do to help locate it, I'd be most glad.
Just tell me exactly what happened. How was your violin stolen?
Some needy soul broke into my home while I was out. The only thing of value they took was the instrument.
Did you report the theft to the police?
I did, but they dismissed it as petty theft. Don't get me wrong, I don't blame them. They certainly have more important matters to deal with.
It would be another crime if I let some petty thief get away with your beloved violin. Let me help you find it.
Oh, thank you very much. I cannot tell you how grateful I am. Oh, come inside, I'll show you everything. Feel free to look around.
So yeah, let's examine the clues.
The door was kicked in.
We could bake apples here, or smoke a duck. Ooh, or make pizza. Do you like pineapple?
This cover is dusty. It hasn't been taken off for a long time.
Let's see.
The jagged bottle reeks of cheap whiskey. The thief left the bow. I suppose he prefers pizzicato.
Basically mean using your fingers.
The scrap of fabric is covered in white stains. Clumsy of a thief to cut himself on the glass he just broke. An utterly useless theft deterrent for a glass display case. Nothing was taken except for the violin. How odd. These are intricate pieces of music, quite beautiful if my sight reading holds true. I see you've received many accolades.
Ah, those are from a long time ago. I used to perform a lot in my youth.
So we can examine the cloth. So this, the puzzle you have to solve, can change depending on gameplay. So you can skip it. So there is a blue trail you can check out.
Anything else you'd like to know?
You weren't here when the burglary happened, correct?
I was tending to my wife's grave at the cemetery. I was only gone a few hours and locked the door before leaving.
Does anyone else live here?
No. My dear Emily died long ago, and God never blessed us with children. I used to give music lessons, but nobody visits me anymore.
Okay.
I can't hear anything. Has it got strings?
You have to find the blue trail. Okay. Why can
The trail stops here among the waste.
Hello, sir. Would you like some fruit? Fresh from the orchard?
I'm not hungry, but I'm looking for a violin that was stolen. Any chance you saw someone with one?
Oh, yes, I did. It was sailors, sir. And they were very good customers. They ate lots of fruit and said that my donkey looks like their friend. A Lieutenant Sean.
A lieutenant. Did you see where they went?
No, sorry, sir. I was helping other buyers. Oh, and sir, the sailors also took my donkey. So I guess they weren't very good customers. They promised to return him, but they didn't come back. My father will kill me if he finds out. So I'm still waiting here for them.
Do you know Anthony Jones, the musician? He lives nearby.
Of course. Mr. Jones is very kind. He never barters. Funny you ask.
I'm yet to crack a smile, so pray tell.
Well, the first time they came by, the sailors mentioned something about music, so I told them Mr. Jones can teach them how to play. Wait, so was it his violin? Oh.
You couldn't have known they would steal from the old man. Fortunately, you made up for it with your testimony. I'll find them and your donkey soon enough. Stay put.
So, now we can track the donkey.
Someone must have seen where they took it. It's a donkey, for heaven's sake. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I don't think I'm rich enough to talk to you, sir.
A change clothes.
Do you know anything about this?
Listen, friend, I like your face. I'll tell you.
So the clue is we have to change to the worker's outfit. Stolen donkey. One of the traders remembers the sailors pushing the donkey near a drinking fountain by the archway with a column.
The donkey was being stubborn, but so were they.
There we are. The first lead in our asinine chase.
Don't mind the mud, Sherry. Get your ear to the ground. I'm sure you'll hear the hooves.
They certainly bought a lot of fruit from the boy. Fear of scurvy, perhaps?
A pile of dung. An act of defiance. I hope it got on their shoe.
Another bottle of whiskey. Oh, this must be Lieutenant Sean. The sailors couldn't get him inside the tavern.
Don't forget to point the boy to his donkey on our way back.
Oh, good grief. Those drunks are wreaking havoc in there.
So let's listen to them. Wrecking the tavern. Frightened patrons. Bunch of sailors. 3. A clue. A group of rowdy sailors are wreaking havoc in the Wet Whiskers Tavern. They are raving mad and dangerous. No wonder that the patrons are afraid to stand up to them. Okay.
I'll cover you, partner.
When he kicks out. Like hell.
Take a rest, my... Don't bother moving.
The snuff's ready.
Get ready for some pain.
Take a rest, my friend. No more.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
No more crime for you, and
give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
Dodge this!
The snuff's ready.
No more crime for you.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
Well, they left me no choice. I think I might be nearing intoxication myself just from the smell of them. The maker's stamp suggests it was made by a student of Pressender. Quite a lovely instrument.
And somehow, after all the mayhem, it's still in one piece.
Donkey, so let's inform the kid where the donkey is.
I found your donkey. It's not far from here, outside the Wet Whiskers Tavern. You'd better go after it before someone decides to borrow it again.
Thank you, sir. I'll be quick as a flash. Hey, Yusuf, please look after my cart, okay? And don't eat anything. Well, you can have a couple of grapes, but only the small ones.
Well done. I look forward to the beautiful reunion.
These are intricate pieces of music, quite beautiful if my sight reading holds true.
So you have to play this book in concentration, but yeah. I already got the thing.
Here's your violin, Mr. Jones. It might have gained a few nicks and scratches, but considering what it's been through, it's a miracle that it's still in one piece.
God bless you. I am deeply in your debt, Mr. Holmes. The scratches don't matter. They are like scars, each telling a story. It is the sound that matters. Oh, you should hear her sing.
It would be my pleasure.
This melody, Sherlock. Don't you recognize it?
Now we can just concentrate.
Look up, Sherry. There used to be an attic up there. We used to sneak in from the roof and listen to Mr. Jones play when we were children. You should tell the old man the truth. I think it will mean a lot to him.
Bravo! I'd forgotten how beautiful a violin sounds in the skilled hands of a virtuoso. That melody, it brought back some memories. I have a confession to make, Mr. Jones. As a child, I used to sneak into the attic above this very room and listen to you play. Spellbound by the music.
Oh, so that was you. After my wife's death, it was difficult to pick up the violin again. But knowing someone was listening helped me persevere. In fact, a young man like yourself could breathe a second life into this instrument. It's a remarkable outlet for one's emotion. You should have it.
I can't accept that. And, oh, I don't play.
It's never too late to learn, Mr. Holmes. The way I see it, the violin chose you. Take good care of her.
Sherry, I'm really glad we helped him.
Yeah, let's end it there. Thank you all for watching. The next time we're gonna continue with finishing more cases before we're gonna head to the solving the last case on Mother's Love and ending the game. Yes, wish you all well.